All right. This is Jupiter on September 26th. This is the day, where it was announced that Jupiter would come close to Earth that it hadn't been in a while, and so it came back into return. Jupiter Jupiter stood out to me for a plethora of reasons, but just to kind of not go back over the lesson I already did, I'll say this. Jupiter can represent esoterically multiple things, right? But for this particular lesson, I'm gonna use the Messiah, which we know to be the collective Messiah, aka the higher mind, which dwells in all of us and also the other star seed children. But what also stood out to me was in the same day, Venus was in Virgo. Venus represents the mother, right? Because if you look at the attributes of Venus, Venus is known as the planet of love and feminine things, love, beauty, and all of those things, right? So we would use that as the divine mother for this lesson. Along with that, the moon. We know the moon to be feminine as well. The moon lets off of feminine energy for those who know or do not know, right? Then we have the constellation of Virgo, which is a representation of the promised seed, right? Virgo, the virgin, basically the pure thought form on an esoteric level, so on and so forth, right? The virgin thought form, basically spirit before physical manifestation. That's what this is going to represent for this lesson. I wanted to just show y'all a precept of that. Ooh, my bad. Wherever it is. This is I show it to y'all all the time. I don't know if it's been shown other places, but this is something that I found a few years back when I first started to study the constellations. And so you see here it says Jupiter, the planet of kings, righteousness, the Messiah, and then you have Venus as the mother planet. So these things happen on the same day. The energy is still manifesting there as of now, but I found that to be intriguing. I feel like the spirit was explaining to me the way this thing is supposed to go. Because in Genesis, we know that in the beginning, there was spirit, right? And we know the Holy Spirit, the mother, the feminine energy. So right now we are in a form of transformation that will take place within us as well as within the core of the earth, aka our planet. And with that transformation, we are going to the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new one, just like I just finished speaking on with his gems that he dropped. It's every ending comes with a new beginning. But if in the beginning Genesis said that there was spirit, that will be feminine, right? So it's very telling to the journey back to where we come from. And I'm gonna show y'all a little more. All right, this is out of the book called The Return of the Children of the Light. And I'm going to read a couple verses out of this to make it make sense what we just looked at. All right. So the Aedean prophecies imply that the gateways to other dimensions are opening again, and is referred to as the current time of Pachuti as the time of the new seed. That's what that word means. I may butcher some of the words in here, but y'all, So the resulting in new humanity will be capable of perceiving the universe in a radically different way. We will be able to step outside of linear time. And we know because we've been talking about it more and more. And for me, I feel like spiritually, it makes more sense now about time being linear, or should I say an illusion. It just is, the more the events unfold, the more you understand that to be so. So when we slip through the gateways to other dimensions, we have the opportunity to explore our full human potential. Hold on one second. Let me drink some water. Okay. To explore our full human potential. So scientifically, or whatever way you want to put it, we hear from mainstream that the normal human only uses about a good, I want to say 10% of the brain. The other lies dormant. And right now, the goal is to awaken that dormant 90%, right? Which is within you. So this is what this time frame we call the Great Awakening is all about. So the prophecy also speaks of the time as Mastay, or the integration of the peoples of the four directions, aka the return of the children of the light. So as they express it, the time is coming for the great eagle of the north and the great condor of the south, referring to the Americas as a whole, will fly together again. And now the precept to that I gave in a couple a few lessons ago, right? When I talked about the return of the dove. These other books line up so well, but they may use a different term or name for the specific thing. But y'all know the spirit will bear witness, and my spirit revealed this to me as the return of the great dove, being called something else, the great eagle or whatever. Okay. So there are many paths to awakening the seed of divinity in all of us through prayer, sacred speech, ceremony, rituals, which will be sacred actions, and by means of direct transmission, sacred grace, and by practice of the ayani, sacred being. The seeds within us can awaken and prosper. However, these seeds will not awaken until we shed the false beliefs that tell us we are set apart from nature. Excuse me. Okay. So to awaken, we need to break out of the limited worldview and reunite with the cosmic mother. Okay. So this is why I brought up that verse in Genesis that talked about in the beginning there was spirit, because it just now told us, we gonna line it up. It just now told us that we have to reunite with the divine cosmic mother, in which we also have read precepts out of the keys that talk about how we are now working this earth to transform it into the fifth dimension, which will connect us with the Shekinah universes, aka the mother universes. So 1 second, follow me, y'all. So ironically, only through Eve can we regain our entry into the garden. This is something that hits home personally for me, because I know, coming from where we came from, it was always spoken about that women were not supposed to or should not be basically using the gifts that we have been given, right? But we're not going to entertain that. And I say that with all joy, because I hope this lesson awakens every single person, whether male or female, but I want to be particular for the women in this walk, because there's precepts all over the place that we contain a divine energy and a spiritual gift over the masculine, right? So in this time, the sisters are going to be raised with this planet as well. So I just want to say that, because give me a second, y'all. Ooh. It's been a long time since the spirit has let me feel tears of joy for this journey.
Come on, sis.
And I'm not sad, y'all. I just feel a strong presence from the mother, and she's letting me be free. And it's been a long time coming. Woo. Listen, what a time to be alive, you guys. Because as my Og just explained, we are coming back into balance, right? But in order to have balance, the women are needed as well. And so it's time for us to step into that power of the divine order, not the order of man, right? Because we can create anything on the physical plane and try to make it make sense. But when it sets in the spirit, it's something different. So it's overwhelming me to say what I'm saying tonight, because I know some sisters who are walking in power and haven't fully aligned themselves. And the spirit has put it on me to help them, which is also telling to back when we were in House of Prayer, when we talked about, when I gave y'all my testimony about how the spirit had been putting it on me to work with my younger female cousins. But now I understand that it wasn't them necessarily as and a physical, but it was women in general, and also of course men, because they have to know how to be in tune with their feminine side as well. But it's very telling to what she was telling me then. Sometimes we may hear the message, but we may not fully understand it until it's time for it to be understood. So that's why this is so passionate for me, because I've been hearing the Holy Mother talk to me a lot. And as y'all know, wisdom is the Holy Spirit, which is a feminine. So when you want that wisdom, you can't have it without her. And of course, if she's the divine wisdom, then her daughters are to be rising up at this time as well. Back to the Melchizedek priesthood being the first as women, which is something the Spirit revealed to me. So, anyways, I'm so sorry, y'all. My rant is over. I'm gonna go back to the lesson. Like I said, we're in a powerful time because we're returning back to the garden, but we have to align ourselves with nature, because nature is the representation in the physical realm of the Holy Mother, who is spiritual. We learn all that we need in nature, and we learn more than we know by being connected and bonded with that. So basically, okay, to nurture the seed, we must first reconnect with the Pachamama. I don't know how to say that word, but just to give y'all a definition, I'm gonna pull it up so we can see what that word means, because I'm sure y'all already have an idea. It's the earth and all physical creation, the feminine aspect of deity, the great cosmic mother, a living being that is all source of life. So when you hear me say Pachamama, that's what I'm referring to, basically the physical of the mother. Now back to where I was. Okay. So we need to offer our Pachamama, our highest, a yani. This may be the single most important thing we can do, both individually and as a human community. Well, let's get the definition of ayani too. So to walk in the balance of all three worlds, we know the three worlds: the Father universes, the Shekinah universes, and the Sun universes. That's what this is referencing in a different way, just giving it a different name. So based on the idea of divine reciprocity, which is basically the dual, the balance, reciprocating the karmic cycle. What's good with bad? Same difference. Um, okay. So according to the perspective, the Adean perspective, there are 7 levels of consciousness. That number 7. Let me see. One second, y'all. I gotta grab the other picture. All right. So let me go back. Okay, so it says here that the majority of humanity has not moved beyond the third level of consciousness, third level being the 3D dimension, a level mirrored in fear, conflict, violence, and spiritual impoverishment. To achieve the fourth level of I skipped the whole part. Because the world mirrors back to us what we believe and embody. If humanity's actions and thoughts arise from fear, conflict, violence, and spiritual impoverishment, the thoughts arise, the universe will mirror such intent and actions. This makes me think of the Lion King in the movie where I want to say, I don't know exactly what type of animal he was, but he went and told Simba to look in the water at his reflection, because truly we are a mirror reflection of the higher dimensions in the lower form. We form the physical of it. So let me continue. So if the thoughts arise from fear, conflict, violence, and basically low vibrating spirits and frequencies, that's what the universe is going to give us back. So in this sense, we create our own karma, and the future will always be a reflection of what we set in motion in the present. So consequently, until we are able to resolve the fear, conflict, violence, and spiritual impoverishment within ourselves, we will be unable to move beyond the third level of consciousness. So these are the things that have to be removed from us. And I want to expound on the word fear. That's the reason why we get tricked in this 3D society to doing things that go against our cosmic law, because we're not in tune with those things. You got the cosmic laws, and then you have those physical laws, two different sets of laws. The cosmic laws trump all, because that's your access pass to the other dimensions. If you're not in line, you're not going nowhere, put it that way. So it's to achieve the fourth level of consciousness, we must learn to let go of the heavy energies within us and heal the emotional wounds within our energy bodies. We got more than one body, y'all. We operate as multi-dimensional beings. So when it talks about these energy bodies, it's talking about the auras and the things that go under them umbrellas. So including the damage caused by our family and ancestral history. Basically, we are our ancestors in so many words. That's why we have to pay for those debts, because we accumulated that debt as well. So hold on. I'll move this. To rid ourselves of the limited beliefs we have absorbed from our culture and remove the residue of past reincarnations. In other words, align your fourth chakra, aka the heart chakra, because that's where your inner child lies. And just like I read to y'all in the past lesson,
sis.
It's real. And just like I read to y'all in the past lessons, that is the bridge between your higher and your lower self. It's the heart. That's the fourth chakra for a reason. It's set right in the middle of your physical body. The earth has a heart chakra too, which corresponds with that. She letting off her pulsations right now, but we got to do this part too in order to align ourselves with the whole entire awakening of the planet. So it can be done by learning to work in harmony with the invisible universe, what the Aldean paths calls the energy universe. However, to work with this universe, we must first restore our connection with the mother. I ain't even gonna try to butcher the name no more, y'all. I'm just gonna call it with the mother. So we got to restore our connection there first. At the fourth level, we learn to work with the dynamics of our own energy body. Once we have learned to release our heavy energy, we can then work with the more refined energies of the mother and access the energies of the superior world. Now, I'm gonna pause right here because remember I was talking about we are multidimensional beings. The keys of Enoch talks about 5 bodies. And there's a list of them. But for this one, the body that this is talking about in this book is referred to in the Keys of Enoch as the Gemotrian body. Now I'm gonna tie this all up together, but I want to read to you guys real quick the definition from the Keys of Enoch. Why did I come to the conclusion that this was what it was speaking about in a totally different book? Because it's telling us at the 4th level, we learn to work with the dynamics of our own energy body. So it's a particular body needed, and the body is going to work with your own energy body, but it has to align with the mother in order to use this particular vehicle. Remember, multidimensional. So we're going to put on multiple different jackets in order to make our destination, to reach the destination rather. But let's go to the Keys of Enoch and define the Gemotrian body. So the vehicle of light, the Gemotrian body is the definition. The vehicle of light synthesis in the body formed by the Shekinah's life force. So this is the vehicle that's formed by the Shekinah, aka the mother. Anytime you hear that word in the Keys of Enoch, those that don't know, the Shekinah is the mother, represents the mother and the divine feminine. Okay. So which controls all the inner relationships of light. This body prepares the human vehicle to be connected with the Christ over self on the physical plane. So remember, before we do anything, we do it in spirit first. But we are here now in the 3D in the physical body, and we are taking this exodus on a spiritual level. Okay. So it can control the ratio between the plasmic state of living things and the atomic molecular matter. The Gematrian body is made up of light geometries used in the consciousness creation, inspiration, healing, etc., which can mathematically arrange each of the energy meridians of the human system to make them available to guide and energize the body. In other words, it's creating a body for you to use during the spiritual exodus, right? And I'm gonna continue to read and it'll make more sense. So the Gematrian body with the Shekinah bears witness that we are the active people of God, actively dwelling in a body of light within a body of flesh. So within you are multiple bodies, right? This particular body is what's needed to step into the 5th dimension, basically the Shekinah universe. All right, let's see here. Okay, vehicle for the saints, that's referenced in John, and the Gematrian body frees the creative life from slavery to the physical body. So let me read that again. The Gematrian body frees the creative life from slavery to the physical body. Slavery was all, of course, as above, so below. It happens in spirit first, happens in the physical later. Slavery was a result of lack of being in tune with our spiritual cosmic laws. So you have to pay the debt for that in the physical plane. Just like everything, it happens above for below. I mean, it happens above, so below. So we had to have lost connection with our spiritual selves in order to become physical slaves. So in order to free ourselves from bondage, it has to happen spiritually first, right? So we become a slave to the physical body, working on the lower plane, the 3D realm. So we've been trapped here. And this whole journey is about freeing that. That's why I was crying, because I understand that that's what's taking place now. And that's why I said, what a beautiful time to be alive, because we get to experience this in our time and with this knowledge this go round. Regardless to what we have done, good goes with bad. So balance, we had to go through the darkness so we can understand the light. But we earned our spot here at this time right now. You had to have worked to get here. So that's why it brought me to a certain level of tears. So anyways, let's go back to where I was reading from. Okay, so I'm gonna read that one more time. At the fourth level, we learn to work with the dynamics of our energy body. Once we have learned to release our heavy energy, we can work with the more refined energies of the mother and access the energies of the superworld. These energies can often be perceived in sacred areas where there are openings to higher worlds. The fourth level also involves learning to perceive and work with the energy of the individuals, groups, and sacred spaces. This is what we've been doing unconsciously by traveling to these places and things of that nature. We learning how to work with that higher level of energy. So at the fourth level of consciousness, we learn to surrender to the higher will. When we are able to do this, the energy itself guides us. That gives the Holy Mother time to come in. 1 second, y'all. I gotta take some water. All right. So to achieve the fourth level of consciousness, we must learn to work in the state of harmonious relationships between different energies. This go back to the lesson that was just given before I start speaking. All praises for it lining up. So as a part, this is basically how to work with the different energies is through balance, right? It's learning to have access to awaken both our inner masculine and feminine aspects as we walk in perfect with Ayani, the members of the opposite sex. And I'm gonna jump down. I gave you guys the definition of Ayani already. So we can then begin to awaken the potential of the fifth level of consciousness. The potential. Remember, I said the fifth level, once we transform Earth into the fifth level of consciousness, that is when we connect with the Shekinah spirit. 1 second. So I'm gonna tie it back in right here by showing us again. So we see that the spirit of Venus is in Virgo, the mother within the promised seed. So that's telling you that she has returned to rise up again, the promised seed, the chosen, right? And all of the feminine energy is flowing through them, aka those of us who make ourselves an open vessel, right? So we got Venus in Virgo, which is the mother. We also have Mercury, the planet of communication. Which is the planet of communication, also back in the promised seed. I forgot to bring that in too. So the spirit left that for the end so I can tie it together this way. So the mother is back communicating with the spirit children, right? She is back with the rightful owners of this knowledge, those with the spiritual capacity to understand, to learn, to know how to open up the earth for this vibration to come through, because we transform right along with the earth, those who have the same seed within them that's buried in the earth, right? So let me go back to Jupiter. Also want to note too, y'all, I said this in my other lesson, but just in case y'all didn't watch it, because I know it was on YouTube. Jupiter is a masculine planet that is seen in Cetus's tail, which Cetus represents the lower vibrations, the lower frequencies, and Jupiter representing the masculine energy that offsets it. Basically, the lower level frequencies being overthrown is why you see Jupiter in the tail of Cetus at this time, and why it took so long to come back around, because this is symbolic of what is taking place, going to take place on the earth, with the end of fear, false religions, low frequencies. Anything that binds your spirit man is being set free right now through the Holy Mother and the balance of the feminine and masculine. So I say all of that to say, I hope that we got something from this. I really, really, really want my sisters to step. It's time, y'all. There's no way that we could be a part of this time and not have a purpose if we're going back to what was first in the beginning. I just showed y'all a precept that said there's no way back to the garden if you don't go through the mother. That is very telling for my sisters that are feeling that spiritual nudge to to use their gifts. The gifts are already activated. We've been left behind on this 3D frequency waiting to catch up to that time. So you see, it's already written. Like I read, time is linear. It happened already. And I think that's where the spirit gives me such strong vibration and feeling towards it, because I understand that the only thing stopping us from feeling the same way is the alignment with ourselves. Like I read, the work that we got to do on the inner plane, but it's already been written, right? So I just wanted to give y'all that tonight. I definitely have more, but for tonight, that's what I'm gonna give y'all, and hopefully let it set in the spirit. Like I said, what a time to be alive. I definitely want my brothers to step into their feminine energy as well. So don't forget that y'all are needed too. This is not a downplay to y'all roles, but I just want to put emphasis on accessing that feminine side, because we do need that balance, right? So all praises, y'all.